Last week was crazy. Over the last 10 days, over 1,000 people have subscribed to this channel, so I can't thank you enough, and I hope to always earn your subscription with each video I upload. If this is your first time here, hi, welcome to the Midlight Synthesist. Let's get started. Step 1. Take a look around your studio and realize that your current setup is stifling your creativity.
And you're just one box away from perfection.
Step 2. Make a list of the synths that you currently own, so you know what areas might be lacking in your setup. In my idea of a perfect studio, you should have some of the following: a drum machine, a polysynth, an analog monosynth, a sampler, some sort of stage piano or workstation, a few effect pedals. You also might want to consider a bit of modular gear to get experimental and freaky, but beware, that is a big rabbit hole. Finally, you want something to control your gear. This could be as simple as a sequencer like the keystep, or something a bit more complicated, like a traditional DAW or maybe an MPC. Once you have identified the function that is most lacking in your studio, define a price range and then make a list of the synths that are within that budget so you know what's available to you in the market. Next step is we're going to make a list of requirements that this synth or groovebox has to fulfill in order to qualify for your purchase. This is basically a list of your personal preferences, so it can be as technical or as eccentric as you want it to be. For example, in a list that I made once, I included must be video friendly because I wanted to use it on this YouTube channel. Other requirements you might consider are analog or digital, number of voices, size, studio or live use, with or without presets, with or without a keybed, etc. Now we're going to start cross-referencing these requirements with the synths that are within the budget. I highly recommend that you color code the requirements to make it visually easier to see which synths are actually coming out on top, especially with the requirements that are most important to you. Also, it looks more fun. As you start moving through your checklist, you'll see that some synths start to stand out. This is the part where I'd like to offer you a bit of friendly advice regarding diminishing returns. Plainly speaking, diminishing returns is a concept that means that the quality of the product that you're buying will not necessarily follow the same curve as the level of investment that you're making. The more money that you spend will not necessarily reflect a higher quality or more functions in the product that you're buying. Let's take this for example. In the Moog family, we have some pretty powerful analog bass synths. So starting with the Minotaur, you get a very powerful synth that's awesome for basses, but for about twice the price, you can go for the Sub 25. You get more functions, you get the paraphonic mode, you get a keybed, so yeah, you basically get a lot more for your investment if you double the price of the Minotaur. Now let's go another step. If you have the Sub 25, you could spend a little more and get the Sub 37 for about double the price. Now, is the Sub 37 twice as good as the Sub 25? I don't think so. Sound-wise, they both are very strong. And in terms of functions, you're not getting double the functions of the Sub 25. So in that sense, you're making double the investment, but you're not receiving double the value. Hi there, Midlight Video Editor here. I realize I just made a statement that will make some people very angry. I just want to be clear, the Sub 37 is maybe one of my favorite synths of all time, and I think it's worth every penny. I'm just trying to use it as an example, so moving on. Once you're sure that you picked the right synth for you, go to the manufacturer's site. They generally have lots of sound demos so you can get a feel for what this synth sounds like. Second, and perhaps most importantly, go into YouTube. Watch Nick Bat's review on Sonic Lab and Loopop's review. There are many talented YouTubers, and I hope to be one day one of them. But Loopop and Nick Bat are just the godfathers of synthesis reviews. These in-depth reviews will generally give you a good idea of what you can expect sound-wise and function-wise as to the synth that you're buying. Sorry, me again. I just wanted to add that the very best way to try out any synth, or instrument for that matter, is to actually go and physically play that synth or that instrument. There's just nothing that can replace that actual feeling of the instrument under your fingers, and that way you really know if this thing speaks to you or not. Final step, and this is the most important one. Get distracted by a recommendation on YouTube and look at a synth that is nowhere near your price range, that was not on your list. Mostly doesn't even complement your other synths that well.
Goodness gracious.
Realize it's your own damn money.
Yummy.
And you can spend it however the hell you want.
That ain't no crossfade.
You deserve this.
Just puts a smile to my face.
You don't litter. So if anyone in this world deserves a brand new Arturia Polybrute, that's you. By the way, this is not sponsored. I just really want a Polybrute.